Ash, congrats. A win, runs and wickets for yourself. You must be really happy with where your cricket's at the moment.
Yeah, I am, and I guess I've taken a lot of confidence out of what I was able to do against the New Zealand in the New Zealand series, and then obviously coming to a home Ashes with a sellout crowd, like that kind of spurs you on to do really well for your team and I guess for your country as well. So it was awesome atmosphere here today, and I guess to contribute with both bat and ball was something that I wanted to do to start the series off well and take some confidence into the back end of this series. So we're 2-0 up, but we know that there's a long way to go in this Ashes series.
You mentioned on the broadcast there's a tennis elbow thing you're doing at the moment.
I probably shouldn't have said that. No, honestly, it just spurred on like a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago probably. I don't know, maybe I'm using my top hand more nowadays, but yeah, there's no issue there.
Are you batting better with it? Feels like the loss.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm just using my top hand a little bit more and a little bit better technique, but it hasn't been an issue.
Well, in all seriousness, what's been the turnaround for you? Because it felt like maybe the couple of months before the last India game, was it? Look, you weren't scoring as many runs, whereas the last 4 or 5 games have been really good for you for that.
Yeah, I guess coming off the back of the Big Bash, T20 cricket's such a funny one because it's so fickle. You play one bad shot or you've got to go really quickly, where I find batting in the middle order in this team in ODI cricket, I've got more time. And I think that's something that I've just tried to remember when I'm out in the middle is I do have more time than sometimes I think. And I guess for me it's always knowing that I can catch up if needed. And I guess today, like, the conditions were pretty tricky. I never felt like I was fully in. I guess just being able to score frequently was probably something that I really tried to focus on to keep my scoring shot high, because as soon as you kind of get bogged down, it seems like it's even tougher to, I guess, get off strike. So for me, if there was a ball that I could hit to the boundary, I was trying to be really proactive in that. And I think, yeah, to my credit, like, that's what I do well. And I feel like when I'm doing that, that's when the innings kind of flows, where if I'm a bit of a sitting duck, I'm always kind of chasing the game, which is obviously not what I want to do.
We've seen Soph take plenty of catches at this ground in the magenta. Kind of what was going through your head when the ball's in her hands and it looks like she's probably got it?
Yeah, well, I definitely thought I was out. Yeah, to get that kind of ball and to hit the shot I did, it was pretty disappointing. I probably should have just not tried to be too technically correct and try to put it in the stands over there. But there are some of those moments where you just need a little bit of luck on your side. I feel like with my batting, I've been pretty luckless recently, and they're the ones that get taken, or someone takes a screamer off what you think is quite a good shot and stuff like that. So sometimes you just need some luck on your side in cricket, and fortunately for me today, it was on mine.
You mentioned the 2-0 lead earlier. I know it's only one game in, but just how important is it playing from in front in this series, given a lot of things can change quite quickly?
It is, and I think we realised that pretty quickly. In England last time, we were 6-0 up, and then that got chased down pretty quickly. So you're never, I guess, quite sure of we could be playing amazing cricket, but England is such a good team and they always find a way. They certainly fought really hard in that series, and we know that they're going to look at this game today and look at the things that they didn't do too well and the things that they did do well, and then I guess trying to implement that for longer periods. And we know that they're going to come back firing next game at the Junction, which is, generally speaking, there's lots of runs scored there, so it might be tougher for the bowlers, where sometimes here at North Sydney it's more of a run fest as well. So it was nice that there was a bit in it for the bowlers today.
You mentioned the luck Elisa gets given and the reviews and gets that life on 4. How pleasing as a teammate is it to see her get those runs on the ball and look quite comfortable as well behind the stumps?
Yeah, she did, and she's going to take a lot of confidence out of today. And I think even just watching the way that she was batting through that New Zealand series, she was striking the ball really well and got some starts. But then I think today, scoring 70-odd in front of her home crowd as well, I guess probably spurs you on as captain, and she's leading from the front and stuff like that. But I know just from a body point of view that she's going to take a lot of confidence out of keeping for as long as she did, and then being able to back that up at the top of the order. So yeah, really pleasing for her, and hopefully it's for some signs to come that she can score heaps more runs.
I was going to say that, does it give you guys a fair bit of confidence? Because obviously she's also had a pretty lean trot with that, shall we say, like for her to come out and bat, like it almost looked like the old Elisa Today at times with that. Does that give you guys a fair bit of confidence what's ahead?
Definitely. I think you just look at our top order, you look at Healy and Litchfield, they're going to take the game on, and obviously it wasn't for Phoebes today, but we know obviously the talent that she has. But for someone like Midge to take the power play on when the ball's in her zone, to actually back herself, and I think sometimes you can kind of get caught in chasing a low total, just chasing the total rather than actually just trying to bat properly. And we always speak about that. If you're chasing small totals, sometimes they're the hardest to actually chase. And today we obviously got on top, but we know that if we're getting conditions that are just as conducive for bowling, that it could be tricky. And I think, today it will just give our team a lot of confidence. People stood up in different moments, whether that was with battle ball, and I think, going forward, we can take a lot out of today.
Ash, obviously we're coming off a great batting performance from you, but we can't forget 3 wickets. How much confidence did you take from that? And also not just you, there was a fair amount of great performances from others with the ball as well.
Yeah, really pleasing. I think Kimmy Garth set us up really well at the top of the order. She does that very frequently for us nowadays, and it's so pleasing to see. I'm sure she'd love some more nicks behind the wicket, but for someone to set the tone at the top, and then for me just to come in and I guess follow her, and then just try and keep building pressure and keeping the pressure on. And I guess for us, it's probably limiting boundaries against this group, because we know that they want to score shots. We know that they want to score quickly. So on a tricky wicket today, I guess for me, the role was just to try and tie up an end and then ultimately bring the bad shot. And certainly the 2 wickets that I got of Knight and Siva probably weren't my 2 best balls, but sometimes that's what pressure does, and players play shots that sometimes aren't there and hit the ball into the wind and things like that. So I obviously have to keep that in the back of my mind that they weren't great balls, but I think moving forward I can still take a lot of confidence out of the other balls that I was bowling as well.
Were you surprised to see Siva go for the same shot after you just got Knight out like that?
Not surprised. I know that they're the type of batting unit that like to put me under a lot of pressure, and they would see off-spin bowling as part of their strength, and they're a really good sweeping team. They're really good at playing through the leg side. So for me, it was probably they both probably just got the wider ones. There was a little bit of a strong breeze blowing across to the offside from the end I was bowling from, so it was probably just drifting outside their off stump, and luckily for me, they hit it up into the air, and the wind kind of held it. But in saying that, 2 very good catches from Elise Perry too, which was really cool to see.
Were you surprised at the England total? I mean, you mentioned it's normally a bit of a wicket for batters, but there's a lot of movement in it. Were you surprised by the total they put up, or it was very challenging out there with the bat?
It was still challenging. I think what was in the 39th over, we chased it in, and generally speaking in ODI cricket, if you're chasing 200, you want to get that done pretty quickly. And I guess for us, we're really trying to strive for the biggest score we can in ODI cricket, and to be able to chase down 200 in that amount of time, on a pretty tricky wicket, we can probably be pretty happy with that. There's obviously certainly some areas that we can improve on, but in terms of their total, they got a lot of starts and then just weren't able to capitalise on that, which I think Healy did really well. She got a start and then kicked on to 70, and then for me it was just trying to stay out there till the end and not play any silly shots, which I obviously got some luck with, but that's just the game of cricket sometimes.
You mentioned the sellout crowd and how good that is to start the series. What was the atmosphere like? And do you think it's your successes as a team that really bring people to want to come and see you lot in action?
I hope so. It's such a great ground for women's cricket, and they're so close to the action, and to have a sold-out crowd here, it was, just under 7,000, but it feels like so many more because you are so close. This is my home ground. I'm from Sydney. I've played a lot of cricket here, and played a lot of successful games of cricket here for either the Sixers or Australia. So I guess to start the series off in front of what that crowd was, hopefully it leads to more crowds like that throughout the rest of the series. We're playing at some really cool venues. So to hopefully play some entertaining cricket throughout the series will, fingers crossed, draw people in to come and watch us, and hopefully lead to some more success.
You're just going to drag them to the MCG.
I hope so. I would love to see 30,000 plus every day. I've said that in interviews before, and I think that's what Cricket Australia is really striving for, is I guess off the back of what the men were able to do this summer, I guess our success throughout I don't know, the last 5 to 6 years off the back of the Australian Open. Hopefully people are buzzing for Australian sport by the time that comes around, and fingers crossed the Ashes is in a balance with Australia just ahead, and then they can come and watch a really good test match.